Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center, is the show for football fans. Behind-the-scenes stories, personal moments, and authentic Buffalo pride all season long. Tune in on YouTube anytime, anywhere. Welcome to another edition of Buffalo Under the Helmet from Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center at Wingnutz Bar and Grill. Bills Mafia babes in the house. Bills fans in the house. And so is Dwayne Carter. Give it up. Let's go. Good to see you, Moran.
Great to be here.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, man.
And thanks for being here. First of all, let's get things underway properly. How are you feeling? How are you healing?
Yeah, I'm coming along good. I'm about 10 weeks post-surgery from my Achilles and, just dealing with the everyday battles that it comes, but also, supporting such a great team we have here in Buffalo has been awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about the rehab for you. Like, it happens, and when it does happen, it's probably a shock to your system, right? It's a very serious injury when it comes to football, right? Yeah. And then, so you get the diagnosis. You kind of probably already knew what happened when it did. But then you find out what you have to go through. So what's been the toughest part of the rehab, and are you kind of over the hill, or are you on the downhill portion of it at this point?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think starting off is obviously the mental battle, right? Something I worked so hard for in the season. I was really looking forward to going out there and competing with the guys. And then, like you said, when it happens, like this injury can be one of two things. Either it does or it doesn't. So obviously it happened dealing with those mental battles. And now 10 weeks in, it's kind of just downhill and trying to see what I can do to better myself every day, right? And there's certain limitations I have as far as like lower body, but upper body has just been me in the weight room, hitting the weights or doing my rehab or, even talking with a team psychologist, sports psychologist, and figuring out different ways that I can help the team, still fulfill my role at the end of the day.
Well, I hate to say it, but obviously coming off the Miami game, the psychology part of it's important, right? After a loss, unfortunately, the way it happened, you have to, obviously you're in that 24-hour window that everybody talks about, but you have to come off of that and refocus very, very quickly, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, the 24-hour rule is, consistent across sports. And I think, we have such a good team, such good leadership under Coach McDermott, being everybody else. It's just we're going to go back and bounce back and be who we are again next week.
And I need you to bounce back because injuries, they just have been stockpiling for this team, right? Yeah. Thankfully, TJ is getting close, but then Hoyt goes out. He looked so good in his first two games out. Ed Oliver's still a little bit away. Landon Jackson is sadly going to be gone for the year, right? So it seems like one after the other, injuries every single week. Is it as simple as you guys just being a little bit snake bit in that department?
I think we're very fortunate last year as far as injury-wise. We had a couple things here and there, but then you just look at this year, I think you just call it unluckiness at the end of the day. But also, on the positive side of it, you talk about the silver lining, right, is I think how good of a team we are and how deep we are as a team to go out there and perform at the level we do. Obviously, we didn't get done last weekend, but at the same time, we see how capable we are as a team to go out there and win.
Not to harp on the loss, but now in your second year what Bills Mafia is like. Even after that, they are here in droves, and they are here for you. So it speaks a ton to this group here tonight, right?
100%. And it's so cool because I have friends, and we played in Charlotte, we played in Miami, obviously. We played in all these different cities. And either it's alumni I played with, teammates, college, it's just, hey, why are there so many Buffalo people here? I can't even go outside my house because I'm scared. I'm like, don't be scared. They're not going to bite you. It just make sure you cheer for the right team, right? So it's been awesome.
So, talk about that. When you were back in Charlotte, obviously you played at Duke, and I'm going to ask you a lot about being at Duke, but that must have been kind of cool going back there, being that close to where you played your college football.
Charlotte, man. Charlotte, I spent a lot of time in Charlotte as well because of the ACC itself. I think the headquarters is in Charlotte or Greensboro. They switched one of the two, but it was down that way. And so Charlotte's a beautiful city, and to get the texts and the calls and the messages about how crazy the Mafia is, how crazy Bank of America Stadium looked, and how, they're doing intros and the home team's getting booed, those type of things. So it's just really cool, man.
That's fantastic. So at Duke, obviously this guy doesn't have a big personality, does he?
No,
definitely not.
I'm introverted.
If you didn't know this, everyone, Dwayne minored in theater, is that right, at Duke?
That is correct.
Okay, so were you in speaking theater, wrong term I'm sure, or musicals or both?
Yeah, so let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yes.
I played my 4 years at Duke.
Yes.
I could have came out my 4th year, decided to come back for a 5th. And I was going to graduate with a degree in psychology with a minor in education because I really want to teach. That's kind of like my long-term thing. And I was like, all right, you can either graduate and just take some kind of fluff classes and go through the season, or you can add on to your degree and do something you really want to do. So it kind of started in high school. They wanted me to come out for productions and things. I'm like, baseball. I can't really. I got sports. So then we get into my freshman year at Duke. I took an improv class. I mean, from then, there's relationship with the professors in the department and how well we did. Not only me, I had a couple of teammates in the class as well. So then fast forward to my 5th year, I'm like, we're going back to theater. And it wasn't all as fun as improv. I say that. I was in Roman theater, like the history of Roman theater. I was in a costume design class where we had to, draw out costumes. That's not a strength of mine at all. And then I also had a dialogue class, that was right up my alley. That was my favorite class.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So did you find out that you were a better artist, or is Josh Allen a better artist than you?
From all those drawings, I say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Sure,
right?
Of course. Great answer.
And I had a lot of abstract art. Let's just say that.
Theater obviously has transitioned for you because little birdie told me in my ear that you're going to be in a Hallmark movie. Tell me a little bit about the Bill's love story that you're going to be in.
Yes.
Obviously, you want everybody to watch it, but so don't blow it completely. But what's your role? What's your input?
Yeah, so I got a couple lines. And my scene is actually in the setting of a hospital downtown, and so that's all I can give, though.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I think we're doing a little parade actually later this week in East Aurora, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it was pretty cool. So once the news broke, my mom was a big Hallmark junkie. That's what she does. So it broke immediately. I get the Facebook message, hey, look at your Facebook, son. And I said, okay, Ma. So I looked, and then from that point on, once I saw that I was going to be in Buffalo, I'm immediately texting our PR people, hey, I need to be in this. I want to be in this. How do I be in this? How do I do this? How do I do this? So after enough bugging, they actually hit me up. I was like, hey, you can do 2 different roles. I forget what the other one was, but I ended up choosing the hospital date. But, I mean, it was awesome being on set, and I was on set for, I think 6 to 7 hours after OTA day. And we only shot the same probably 4 scenes over and over and over and over and over and over again.
And each time you got your line right.
I did. I actually did. Now, did I do it the way it was supposed to be said? No, but the words were correct. And I actually ended up being in the same scene, or one of the same scenes as DeMar and Dion, right? 2 of the biggest popularities in Buffalo, right? So, I got my camera time too, but it was cool being around those guys.
Well, look for that on Hallmark, obviously, coming out around the holidays. I want to talk to you there's so much more about Duke I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about your time in Buffalo as well. But we got to go to a break. But before we do, we're obviously working with Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. And recently, I got to sit down with a cancer patient who was a 3-time captain and now currently a Hall of Famer at St. Bonaventure, a female rugby player who, look, I mean, when we talk sports and football, team. But every sport, unless it's obviously an individual sport, is a team sport. She played in a team sport, and she took away from that team sport what? Resiliency, toughness, competitiveness, all of that. Well, you're going to meet Carly now. If you haven't seen this previously, tough as nails, as you know, cancer can bring the toughest people to tears at times. But with the help of the folks in the team at Roswell, she was able to overcome. Watch Carly's story. Sitting here with Carly, and you're 28, leukemia. The diagnosis comes down. What are you thinking at that point?
The disease is just so vicious that it just kept coming for you constantly. The disease kept presenting you with new obstacles that you had to overcome and new things that you had to defy to reclaim who you were going to be.
So you're a rugby player, some would argue vicious sport. How, having played rugby, do you think that helped you in your fight against leukemia?
Rugby prepared me for what was going to be the toughest opponent I would ever face, and that was leukemia. I was very scared, and I was talking to a family friend, and they said to me, Carly, we just have to do it afraid. And I kept that mantra with me as I faced every obstacle that came my way.
You obviously depended on not only your inner circle for support, but also, of course, the folks here at Roswell Park. Talk a little bit about that relationship.
I spent a lot of time here at Roswell, especially inpatient, seeing nurses and physical therapists and doctors and PAs daily. They went beyond what the call of care is to serve me, and they did it all with compassion. Without them, I wouldn't be here today.
Carly, great to meet you. Inspiring story, and your words are meaningful. And hopefully there's someone out there that's going to embrace those words in their fight as well. Thanks for sitting down and talking with us.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to Buffalo Under the Helmet with Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center at Wingnutz Bar and Grill. DeWayne Carter, excited to see you, of course, from the Bills. Waiting for training. He gets back on the field soon. We need more soldiers. We need more soldiers, for sure. Let's talk more about Duke. Obviously, it's where you went. I got to ask you about what it's like. I mean, you guys were sort of like the football team. You were good when you were there,
Yeah.
but you're still, when you're at a place like Duke, you're still sort of the understudy of the basketball program, right? And Coach K, and one of the Mafia members is here wearing a Duke lid and a Duke hoodie, clearly a big Blue Devils fan.
Yes.
But for you, what was it like as a football player knowing that level of basketball was in? Like, walk me through the Cameron Indoor experience and walk me through, like, did you ever tent camp in Krzyzewskiville trying to get a ticket? Like, was that a thing?
So, no, I did not sleep outside for a basketball game.
Okay.
I chose to, just go normally. But, I mean, it's crazy, that culture, right? And think about it, I went to school first in 2019, and we struggled my first couple of years. And in 2022, Coach Mike Elko came in. That's when kind of the script flipped, right? I was at the point where we're losing, not doing very well. I'm like, I need to get my degree, maybe transfer somewhere else, see how it goes, so get the ultimate goal, which was the NFL. So going through that thought process, and obviously things changed in 22 and 23, we kind of raised the bar in Duke, and just new facilities, new crowd source, and we actually were able to host game day for the first time in 2023 against Notre Dame, and that was probably my favorite game I've ever been a part of in my life. So it was cool, and it wasn't a negative competition, but it was more so not even a competition. It was just the support from each guys, because each basketball class that came in, they only played 1 year. It's like a prep school, and they go on to the NBA. Yeah. So getting to know those guys and hang out with them and having a good relationship with them. And I think the coolest thing is now there's so many of us in the NFL as well as many of them in the NBA. So it's been cool to keep it in touch with each other's journeys and kind of stop along the same places. But it was awesome.
That's great. You come from a really great pedigree in terms of your family and football, right? Your dad played at Ohio State. Some grumblings out there. Must be some Michigan fans in the house or something.
It might be.
Oh, man. And then your uncle played at Notre Dame.
Yes.
And, oh, by the way, you grew up near Columbus, and you were recruited by Ohio State. You were telling me before we started our shoot, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame. You had a laundry list of places you could have gone in terms of big Power 5 programs.
Yeah.
But you instead chose to go to Duke. Why Duke and not, your opportunity to play one of those, arguably top 10 every year schools?
Yeah, 100%. I think, obviously, outside of the education piece and the connections and what you get long term, they always say it's not a 4-year decision, it's a 40-year decision, right? So, I mean, outside of football and everything else, I took school serious. I enjoyed school. It's kind of not the norm these days, but I enjoyed school. I enjoyed meeting all my teammates and classmates, and I went to school with a lot of people from a whole bunch of different places. But outside of that, when I stepped foot on campus at Duke, I couldn't shake the feeling of just wanting to go there. And I don't know what it is to this day. Like, I went to that visit, went on a whole bunch of other visits, game visits. I went to all those blue blood programs, the true top 10s every year, and it was everything just kept bringing me back to Duke, and I think that was probably the best decision I made so far in my life.
Well, I mean, arguably, it's one of the best colleges in all of the country, clearly. You were a great student coming in, and you took that next level and got that degree, so congratulations to you on that. That's a massive achievement. That's an Ivy League school for all intents and purposes, so congratulations. That's really great stuff, man. Talk about, through your injury process this year. I mean, obviously you play your first year, and you're so excited about that second season to kind of ramp things up and to get hurt early on, right? How have you been able to kind of stay plugged into the process along the way and not get bummed out that you're not on the field and you're still in the meeting rooms, you're still part of it, but not? How did you maintain your sort of resiliency? I used that term in the first segment, your resiliency, your positive attitude, and then take that and apply it to your teammates.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a great question, too, because it's not easy, right? It's very hard, especially when you want to be out there and you love playing football at the end of the day. And I'm blessed enough to have a job where I play a kid's game for a king's ransom. That's what we always say in the building. It's a blessing at the end of the day, right? So when it's taken away from you, especially so sudden, it's not, I'm not going to say an identity crisis, but it can be at times, right? And because on all good teams, whether it's sports, it could be your work building, it could be an office, whatever it is, everybody has a role, right? And my role was forming, it was coming to fruition. I'm like, yes, this is what I want, and it was taken away. So now my new role, I think, is to be a light, right? Be that positive energy, whether it's at practice in the training room, or a prime example, we lose yesterday, obviously, and it's just, all right, how can I be there to support the guys? What can I tell them what I saw? And as well as me being a positive light, I'm not a coach, but also watching film and watching guys play in a new way. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can see this like a coach now because I can't really move like I was moving. So maybe I can put on my coach lens. But it's just silly little things like that. But at the end of the day, they're so real. I think it's been really good for my mental health as well as, my journey as a pro.
Well, and it doesn't hurt that you're a 3-time captain at Duke, the only person to ever do that there. Really impressive. Give him a nice round. That's an amazing feat. That doesn't happen. You're not a sophomore and becoming a captain of a football team really anywhere. It's so impressive. So how did that play into your sort of, even though you're only a second-year player, leadership role on the team when you're not playing?
Yeah, I think I learned a long time ago in high school, from my head football coach, Jay Sherrod. Our program was very winning to start off with. And his whole thing was you surrender yourself to the team and for the seniors. And essentially saying you don't matter to your senior. And it's obviously can sound negative, but then the older I got, the more I understood that, right? And just being a team player, being a team guy, and everything else will happen for you. And I think once I understood it in high school, that's when my offers started showing up. That's when opportunities started showing up. And that's when, I saw my dreams rise. Same thing at Duke. It was a rough first 2 years. And then same thing, I was kind of being that light, trying to be who I am, but also not for selfish reasons, just because I wanted to win. And I saw we had the pieces to be successful, and we had the guys that want to do it. It was just, all right, we got to buy in and do what we do. So my thing, I didn't do anything special. I tell people all the time, it's just I just bought into the program, and I think I don't view myself as above anybody else. I don't view myself as, I'm chasing 10 sacks because I want to go to the NFL. It was never that. It was just me putting in the work to be good for our team to be better.
Does anybody ever come to you and say, Dwayne, shut up. You're too happy. You're too positive. Come on, man.
Yeah, some of my teammates tell me I need to be a little bit more negative sometimes.
Don't do that. You're a big community guy. You mentioned you want to be a teacher. You're huge with kids. It comes from home, right?
100%. And growing up, I grew up around, my parents actually were able to work in the same building for a lot when I was growing up. And it was a building with inner city youth. And it was like after school programs, kind of like almost like a charter type of school thing. And there, my dad was taking kids to football camp, like they're doing job interviews, they're doing education stuff. It was just everything I was immersed in. And it was cool because all their coworkers probably had kids my age. So we just tear up the office, like just run around and nobody could say anything because, all the parents were working there, but it was just awesome. And so being around that culture and seeing what it did for my parents, not only them, for what it did for me long term, to see, how it really shaped me.
And how you can give back, and you have that opportunity as now a professional athlete to do just that in 100%. This community, right?
100%. And I think Buffalo is the perfect place to be. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's funny because before you get drafted here, it's like, you hear about Buffalo, you hear about the Mafia, you hear about jumping through tables, you hear about the ketchup and mustard, man. You hear about all these different, traditions, and you're like, oh, these people are crazy. Like, you're just crazy football fans. But it's at the core, you see how good of people really are here in Buffalo. And I mean, even when I got hurt, it was the outreach, the outpouring. It was, it was very overwhelming, especially for me. It was reaching out to me, my wife, my mom. It's just all the people they could get in touch with and, reach out for anything. And, shout out to Wingnutz, man. My dog, AJ, hit me up, say, hey, I'll bring you some wings to the hospital if you need it. So it's just, it's awesome.
Yeah, AJ's great, and Chris and the gang here as well. And John, too. So, all right, we're going to go to a break. Give it up for Dwayne. We got plenty more. We got 2 more segments, including a fan segment coming up. It's Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by the Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Back in a moment.
Buffalo Under the Helmet is presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you make any treatment or surgery decisions, please spend just 1 day at Roswell Park. And sponsored by Paula's Donuts, made with love. Wingnutz, our official home. Athlete Accolades, where the love for the game lives on. Vision Financial Group, your future, our focus. And Team Lammy, the full-service agency to connect your brand to the Buffalo community.
Oh, the Mafia, loud and proud. There's Wingnutz Bar Grill. That's DeWayne Carter. I'm Rich Gensler. It's another edition of Buffalo Under the Helmet, Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. And in front of us, and we'll try these in a second, our Buffalo Under the Helmet official Paula's donut. We'll have this in a second. I know with our previous guest, Dwayne, you guys have Paula's on a pretty regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
At the facility.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How many have you pounded in one sitting?
I don't count, but it is a very big number, I will say.
If you were to put these on a scale, they probably would weigh about 3 pounds, my guess.
I would agree. Like, just looking at I would agree.
This is my kind of weightlifting. It's a little bit different from what you're used to. This is my kind of weightlifting.
50-50 for me, Big dogs got to eat, man.
That's right. Before we get to this, though, and of course, the Buffalo Under the Helmet donut from Paula's benefits Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. $1.75 of the purchase goes to Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center, and of course all of their treatment programs and programs in terms of research as well. So that's a great thing. So fans, jump on that. We'll try this in a second because I want to ask you about your play of the season to this point.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the season to this point. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, right? You start out great, a couple of down games, you get the bye week, you come back up, then the Miami game. Where's the team right now in terms of their thinking and having the emotional roller coaster that obviously Bills Mafia has felt too?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think one thing about being, in the pros is everybody's good, right? So any given Sunday, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. You have a chance to win or lose, right? And I think Coach McDermott does a good job of setting our mindset at the very beginning of the season. It's just the ebbs and flows of the season, right? Not everything's just going to be going up all the time. Not everything will be down all the time. It could be up. It could be down. It could be left. It could be right. It doesn't matter. It's just all over the place. And just going through that, right, we have a good foundation. And I think I always say, whether it's, learning fundamentals on the football field, whether it's, doing our job right here, you have to have some type of foundation, otherwise you'll crumble at the end of the day, right? So in Buffalo, at the Bills, we have a great foundation. I'm excited to see what we do this back half of the year.
Yeah, and clearly, the roster itself, in terms of depth with all the injuries, so many guys have been called in to play and play really significant roles. So talk a little bit about the depth and guys that are maybe like your age and your level, first-year guys, second-year guys that have had to contribute.
Yeah, so I think that is exactly what it is, right? And, we're all picked for a reason to be on this team. And, that's why I kind of spoke to a little bit earlier about how deep our team actually is and how you see guys just step up week in and week out, whether it's, lower on the depth chart, whether you're pulling somebody up from the practice squad, whether it's a young guy who's been around for a long time and is finally get a shot to go. And it's been cool to see, and especially me only being in year 2 and having, I am technically a young guy, but it's just fun to see a lot of my guys go out there and ball out.
Talk about some of the guys in your room, the Bosas, the Hoyts, the Ogunjobis, the veterans that have had successes in the league. How much impact have they had on guys like you, guys like Dion, guys like TJ in that room?
Yeah, huge impact. First of all, how lucky am I? My first 2 years in the league, first year I get to play with Ed, Greg, Von Miller, DQ, all these different guys. In the second year, all right, we lose Von, now I get Joey Bosa, I get Mike, I get Larry. It's just, and those guys are so selfless in a sense. There's no ego, there's no pride. From day one, they came in hey, this is what I think you can do better. Or, hey, watch this, I think this would be good for you. Or this is what I've done in my past that helped me grow to where I am. And, when the guys play double-digit years in the NFL, you listen.
So you mentioned, Daquan is DQ, other guys.
Oh, yeah, Daquan Jones.
Do you have a nickname?
They call me DC.
DC, okay.
Yeah, my name didn't really get used in the building as Dwayne. It's DC.
Because I Google searched your name, and somebody else came up that's kind of famous. So I was wondering if they called you that.
Yeah, me and Lil Wayne, we might resemble each other a little bit, but I get that a lot, so it actually wasn't me.
You're Big Win.
I am Big Win.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, let's talk about the Paula's Donut play of the year so far, right? We're sort of at that midway part of the season. We were talking a little bit about this before we went to this segment. You have one, it was easy for you. What the play of the year was, or has been to this point.
No doubt. I might be a little biased.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shout out my boy Cole Bishop, who's been balling, by the way.
Yeah.
So shout out to 24. But I say that in the half play he had in that New Orleans game, dude comes out of nowhere, does a one-hand Jordan pose interception, and it takes us in the half. And that was a big momentum swing for us, especially because, they were going to score. And that's been my play of the year, all year, because, one, that's my guy. I know how hard he works, and two, we spent a lot of time together, especially in the offseason, working to get better. Up here in Buffalo, actually.
Yeah, being in the same draft class, right? That is an automatic sort of brotherhood, being in the same draft class, right?
100%.
Yeah.
It's cool because like when you come in, you're all together. It's like you're a freshman in college.
Yeah.
Almost in like a dorm setting. So, we're going to get eats and do everything else together. It's awesome.
Awesome. And he's looking great. And finally, looks like he's kind of breaking out of that shell he was in and sort of maturing as we're watching him mature literally live every single week. Okay, let's try this donut. This is a cinnamon donut. It's got like a caramel drizzle. It's got cookies on top. It's got the red, white, and blue bills. Wait, hold on. We got to toast first.
I'm a bat.
Okay. All right.
I'm a bat.
All right, here we go. I always dive in nose and face first. It's not a great thing, but the donut is.
That's fire.
Okay, I'm a mess. You're great. Good place to go to a break.
Napkins, please.
$1.75 of each of the under the helmet donuts. Is that better? A little bit better? All right.
Goes to Roswell Park.
God. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you. $1.75 of the official Buffalo under the helmet. Bill Stone, it goes to Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. So pick one up tomorrow or the next day or sometime in the near future and do your part, Western New York. Okay, final segment coming up next. Good thing, because I got to get cleaned up. We're giving it to Mafia members as we're going to get some fan questions out for Dwayne Carter. When we come back to Wingnutz Bar and Grill on Buffalo Under the Helmet with Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center, Dwayne Carter, Rich Gensler, back after this.
Buffalo fans know what it means to celebrate heart, grit, and tradition. That's why Athlete Accolades is here, helping you capture those unforgettable sports moments with custom plaques, memorabilia, and displays made just for fans like you. Whether it's honoring a legendary play, your favorite player, or your own sports journey, Athlete Accolades turns memories into keepsakes you can treasure forever. Check them out at athleteaccolades.com and bring the pride of Buffalo into your home.
Big crowd of Mafia members here at Wingnutz Bar and Grill. It's another edition of Buffalo Out of the Helmet from Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. I'm Rich Gensler. Once again, Dwayne Carter. DC's coming back strong. Is there a chance you get back by the playoffs or no? Can't you tell us that?
I have no idea, to be honest. It's especially with his injury. It's just one of those things. Like, if it goes really perfect, if it doesn't, like, I don't know. So, just hopefully next year.
Going as you go.
Yes.
Fair enough. I got to ask you about a couple things sports-wise, then we'll get to the fan questions, okay? So you grew up playing the other football, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that. You played soccer. That was your first sport, your first love. Not really. You really wanted to play football. But.
So baseball was actually my first love.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But I grew up playing soccer because my dad didn't want me to play football early. He wanted me to, develop and all the other athletic skills and everything else. So soccer and baseball, basketball, I think that was it. Yeah, soccer, baseball, and basketball. And then moving forward, in the 6th grade was my first year of football. And it was only because my dad wasn't going to let me play until 9th grade. And my mom was like, listen, he's about to go to high school. He's not going to suck when he gets to high school. Like, he needs some type of foundation, needs something. So, push the envelope on that, and that's how all that started. And then my plan was to still go through, 7th, 8th grade, play football, do soccer a little bit as well. And I was like, you know what, I can just be a kicker maybe. And then I get it a little bit heavier.
Right.
And I was like, all right, well, maybe I should just stick to football, right?
Well, I was going to say, like, every kid when they start playing football, like, no kid wants to be a lineman, right? They want to be the star. They want to be the running back. They want to be the quarterback. They want to be the wide receiver. They want to have the ball in their hands and be a skilled guy, right?
It is. That's, quote-unquote, the cool positions.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's starting to turn the tide a little bit, with a lot of these contracts that are getting pushed out
right.
for these big boys on each side of the ball.
So you're okay with that, clearly, and you've done well in your current position. Yeah, you're a really good baseball player too, right? Catcher and first base, right?
Yeah, catcher and first base. So actually, I committed to Duke to play both sports.
No kidding.
Actually, and then my freshman year was the pandemic. So I had to make a choice. I redshirted for football. I was going to redshirt for baseball as well and just, hit it hard next year. And then we ended up going home beginning of March. I didn't come back on campus till July 12th, and then we started the season like 2 weeks later. So I had to make a choice, and then I had to go where the scholarship money was.
Yeah.
And I think I made a good choice.
Yeah. Speaking of COVID, the Blue Jays played in Buffalo during COVID. So I have to ask, did you watch the World Series?
Oh, yeah. You know, and I was fortunate enough to get the game one when they went up, and they won, 11-2, and that was insane. But after you win a baseball game by that much, I'm like, there's no way we lose the series. Like, there's no way. And then, unfortunately, they didn't get it done.
So are you an adopted Blue Jay fan, or were you a fan of someone else growing up?
So I grew up
Get ready.
in Ohio.
Get ready. Here we go.
So I'm all over the place with all these fandoms, right? So I grew up in Ohio. So obviously we got the Guardians and the Reds.
Yep.
I did like the Reds a little bit. Like I was a fan of Joey Votto a little bit. But my main role model was David Ortiz, like Big Papi. So like I told all my friends growing up, like to call me Big Papi when I'm on the baseball field. Like I was swinging left-handed, trying to hit a home run every play. Like that was my guy.
So you're a Red Sox guy, and now you're a Blue Jays guy.
I am Blue Jays.
Blue Jays through and through.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Being very political here tonight, clearly. Fan questions now. The Mafia has some questions. Where's Chris B? Chris B's back there, one of the Mafia babes. She writes for you, besides cooking, what do you like to do in your free time?
That's a great question. And, shout out to Mafia Babes. That's fire. All those signs back there. We see the Tony spice and seasonings. But I think outside of cooking, I spend a lot of time with the team, and I play a lot of video games. And that's kind of, very, very boring, I know. But the off-season, a little bit more interesting. I like to travel. I go back to Duke a lot. I go home to Ohio a lot. And I do a lot of stuff for the schools back in Ohio because a lot of my teachers are the same. So I spend a lot of time in that area.
Who's the best cook on the team?
So we just had this debate, actually, 2 days ago.
Good.
Like, we do, like, this question of the day thing.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't at the building this day, so they kind of went behind my back. And, like, so I couldn't really campaign for myself. I didn't win the votes, but I think Big Cybo, Osiris Torrance, so I think he got the most votes on the team that day.
What's his specialty?
No, it's a big dude from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Gumbo, like, oxtail, like, anything, like, southern, like, that's what he does.
Creole, okay.
And he's pretty good at it.
Sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds delicious. Where's Susanna? Another one of the Mafia babes back there. She writes in, what is your favorite wing flavor?
Oh, all right.
Another good question.
That's a good question. So I was here last week, and I had a new one that Madeline Hall, or Buffalo Food Slut, I don't know how you guys know her by. Like, she has, like, her custom flavor, and that one was really good. As well as if I go to, I don't know if I can say this here, but if I go, like, Bar-Bill, I don't know if they're allowed. And if I go to Bar-Bill, I get the Cajun honey butter barbecue. I've been to Sunny Reds. I'm just go across the, whatever. At Sunny Reds, I get the General Sauce, or General Sal's, however you say it. Big fan of that one. I went to Dove's, and I got just the normal, like, mild, medium, whatever. That was good, but, like, all the exotic flavors, I come either here or Bar-Bill.
There you go. Shout out to Wingnutz. Where's Kathy, who wrote in? Kathy's back here, another one of the Mafia babes. And we're staying on the topic of cooking.
Okay.
Kathy loves Fat Boy Friday. What's your favorite cut of steak to grill?
Oh, so are you familiar with Fat Boy Friday?
I should be.
Okay.
Because I've always been a fat boy, so. And the fat boys are back.
This is going to be a loaded question then. So I have to shameless plug here. So Fat Boy Friday is something I started around Memorial Day, I think. And I was like, you know what, I'm bored. Told my wife, I was like, I'm going to be a man today. I'm going to step on the grill. I'm going to post this. I'm going to make chicken, burgers, whatever. So I said I'm going to do. And I made a little video, put it up. It's done pretty well. So now every Friday, well, most Friday, I try to be very consistent. I put up some type of meal. So I've done anything from grilling to baking to, well, not actually baking yet. That's my next thing I'm going to tackle. But like baking chicken, different things like that. So that's Fat Boy Friday to start off. So now you know. And I'm going to get some T-shirts too, like it. So be on the lookout.
Awesome.
But what was the question? I'm sorry.
Favorite cut of steak to grill?
All right. So favorite cut of steak to grill. It used to be a New York strip. I'm still a strip guy, but I think I like ribeyes more now. Like I've been converted to a ribeye guy.
I would like to be invited to Fat Boy Friday.
It's the open door policy at my house.
Okay.
Like, as long as you're not crazy.
Done. Provided he actually gives me his real address, and I would suspect.
We'll do it at the facility.
Okay, very good. Last one from where's Samantha? Samantha. Back over here? No? No? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It says Samantha.
She might be in the restroom.
Tell us more about the lifestyle of Mr. and Mrs. Carter, and how was the wedding back in July?
Yeah, so that's a great question. My wife would love that. It's been awesome, right? And, I think one of the silver linings about me being hurt has been getting to spend more time with my wife. And we've been together since the 8th grade, and so I know her pretty well.
Yeah.
But we just tackled the thing called marriage in July, and me getting injured allowed us to explore what marriage really is. It's very laid back. We're not high maintenance at all. We like to sit around, watch movies, watch Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, like all those those trash reality TV shows.
Gross.
I know, and I hate that I admit that out loud, that I watch those. We like to cook together. We just hang out. Like, it's just, she's awesome. She's my best friend, and it's been cool to, spend all this extra time with her.
Awesome, man. I love hearing that, because the easy answer would be, well, I've been hurt, so I've been home a lot, so I've had to do a lot of chores, and
a little bit of that.
Well, you've been great, man, and I really appreciate you doing this and being part of the show. And this is our first season doing it, and you're only our 4th guy we've had, and we really appreciate you doing this, and we hope to have you back again another time, man.
I appreciate it, man. It's been a pleasure. It's awesome.
Great to see you. Again, feel good, heal good, right?
Yes, sir.
And go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right, Dwayne Carter, everybody. What a fantastic job. Thanks to him, thanks to you, thanks to Wingnutz Bar and Grill. Our next one will be on the 24th at Wingnutz Buffalo, so look forward for that one. Of course, it's live, it's first come, first serve, it's free to show up and be with us and be on set and ask questions and cheer and go ballistic for your Bills. We encourage it, okay? Buffalo Under the Helmet, YouTube, Instagram, it's all over the place. You can watch and see the entire episodes everywhere you go. And, of course, keep up with my Instagram. Dwayne's out there. What's your Instagram? Help people out with your gram, man.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Instagram, DeWayneCarter.90, or you can find me on TikTok at DeWayneCarter0.
Boom. All right. This has been another edition of Buffalo Under the Helmet, brought to you by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Mafia, great job. Go Bills. Thank you again, Dwayne Carter, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Buffalo Under the Helmet, presented by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time.